Hey everybody, it's Joy Duling from the Joy of Membership here. Welcome back to the Member Experience Advantage, my live weekly broadcast that happens every Friday at this time, at this place. So I'm really glad that you decided to join me here because today we are wrapping up the 4-part series that I've been doing on why they don't know that you exist. So for anyone who's trying to grow a membership-based organization, whether it's an association, a trade group, a membership-based nonprofit, the fact that you are doing amazing work, you're advocating for whatever the cause is that you are focused on, you're delivering great programs, your current members are telling you how wonderful you are, how much value you bring to them. Despite all of that, one of your greatest frustration points might be that more people don't know that you exist. So that's what we have been exploring over the last 4 weeks. So in week 1, we talked about needing to show up in the places where potential members are trying to solve problems, so that they run into you as a potential solution. So kind of understanding the problems that members are trying to solve, and then being there is a way for more people to find out that you exist. In week 2, we talked about the fact that a lot of organizations are leading with a promise that doesn't really turn heads. So it just is not noticeable amongst all of the noise and amongst all of the problems that members are trying to solve. If you listen to that episode, you may recall the analogy of throwing a beach party while someone is trying to fix the leak in their boat. And that's something that a lot of organizations tend to do. Last week, we talked about not showing up consistently. And, the fact that we are all busy servicing our current members, keeping our current programs running, it can be hard to do this outreach work, these touch points in the discovery stage. It can be really hard to keep those things going when you are so busy doing other things. And it's also possible that the things that you think that you're doing that are outreach to brand new people who don't know you exist are actually being targeted to people who already do know that you exist, and they're in a completely different stage of the experience. So they are actually in contemplation, not in discovery. So that's where we've been. Today, I want to talk about the fact that people may actually know that you exist, but you haven't captured that connection. Now, okay, this might be cheating just a little bit because I said this was, about problems that keep people from knowing that you exist. And in this particular situation, people do know you exist, but you haven't captured it. You don't have them noted in whatever systems you're using as being someone who's actually in contemplation. They know that you exist. They may or may not be considering whether they join, but you simply haven't captured their information. So most organizations are pretty good about maintaining communication with current members. There might be a members only newsletter, you might do events, those sorts of things. But what we want to do is identify other people as early in the process as possible. So how can you do that? Well, you may already be doing a little bit of it, but there are probably some places that you could amplify what you're doing. And you would know if you are kind of struggling in this area, if your prospective member list, whatever you're using to capture those contacts, if that is not growing every month, then you're either not getting in front of the people or you're not capturing them. So what I want you to do is capture the ones that you are getting in front of. So you could do things like contact forms that automatically feed information into your contact management system. You could have gated content. So perhaps you're offering a great resource for a problem that prospective members are trying to solve. You can gate that off, ask people for their contact information in order to get access to it. You can add special landing pages to your website that are focused on a specific problem that prospective members are trying to solve. And in addition to kind of having gated content on those landing pages, you can do things like Facebook pixels and other, techie ways of capturing the visitors. You know how you go to those websites and like, this website uses cookies to track you. A lot of times what they're doing is a Facebook pixel, which it just picks up that you've been there, and then it allows the organization to add you to their ad campaigns later and show you ads when you are on Facebook. So you can leverage that sort of technology as well. So even if someone has not given you their name, their email address, Facebook might know who they are, and you can capture them. You can start conversations with people who comment on your social media and offer them resources to problems that they're trying to solve. Now, obviously, this is if your kind of Facebook group or your social media groups include non-members. As soon as someone comes into that group, you can ask questions before you let them in, and then be sure to capture that information in your contact management system. You could create a special offer for a strategic partner to make available to their clients or customers. Let's say that you're an association and your members tend to use the same type of attorney or same type of accountant. You could create strategic alignments with those other types of businesses, those attorneys, those accountants, provide them with a resource that they can give to their clients, and then capture the contact information from those resources. So there are all sorts of ways that you can kind of put these little snippets of value out into the market in front of where your ideal members are going to be looking, and then capture the contact information when their interest has been piqued. So it's completely possible that people are exploring your blog. They get referred your newsletter from a friend of theirs. Maybe there's an article that gets passed on. So you have to start thinking creatively about, as those things happen, how can we capture those contacts? So that is the way that you're going to see your prospective member list growing every month. Of course, it's not going to be enough to get them into your system. You're going to actually have to do something with them. But the things that you're doing with them actually fall in a different stage of experience. It falls into contemplation, because as soon as someone becomes aware of you, they move into the second stage of experience, which is contemplation. And that is going to be the topic of the next series that we will start in February. So we will talk about how to get more members to choose to join after finding out about you. Quite possible you have people who have been sitting on your prospective member list just watching what you're doing, sometimes for years, and they've never taken this step to actually become a full-fledged member. So we're going to talk about why that happens and what you can do to solve that problem and to decrease the amount of time that people just sit on your list. Because ideally, what we want them to do is find out about you, immediately see value, and take the action to join. So stay tuned. That next series is coming up, and I know you're going to find it super valuable. So that wraps up our series on the discovery stage and how to get more people to find out that you exist and move into that contemplation stage. So I do want to invite you, if you are watching this live today here with me, in about 45, 50 minutes, I'm going to be kicking off the first growth workshop of 2020. And you are welcome to come. So if you want to check that out, go to joyofmembership.com/workshop. You can get signed up there. It's absolutely free. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. With that time allowed for questions. And we're going to walk through a 3-step growth process. So it's a process that you can put into place no matter what type of organization you lead, whether you are kind of at the national level with chapters, or you are a chapter, or you're a completely independent organization. You can kind of follow these 3 steps to plan for growth and make it happen. So I hope you will consider joining me. If you are listening to a replay of this and the workshop is already past, no worries. This is a workshop that I'm planning to offer periodically during 2020. So if you go to that joyofmembership.com/workshop, you'll probably see the next date that the event is going to be available, and you can tune in then. So that's all for this week. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I will see you back here next week. Take care, everyone.